think we're live. I'm going to go with we're live. And I want to show you this. It's another book. Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm so glad you're back. How are you? How is everybody doing? I have two things to talk to you about today. Three, actually. And one of them is this crazy book, You and Your Big Ideas. It's a wonderful book. I'll be just a second while I do this thing with the other screen. I think we're live. Oh, you can hear her, can't you? There we go. All right. All right. A couple of really interesting things happened to me yesterday. And I thought, every time I say to myself, I wonder if I'm going to have something exciting and new fall out of the sky and into my lap. Because I want to come up with something new and exciting every time we do a video. And low or high, depending on your point of view, there it is. So, no, I have to show you this other thing first. I can't wait. I can't wait. We'll talk about the book in a minute. So, yesterday, Lance Moran, who is the showrunner for FanaticCon Ottawa, posted a message to say that August 14th is looming. And what he would like us to do is start posting and promoting and telling everybody how fabulous it's going to be, and you need to come, and it's going to be amazing. And of course, we're all going to do it by this lovely man named Lawrence Moran. And Lance is a toy collector. He's also one of the winners, if you can call it that, of Canada's Worst Driver. And so he has this huge trophy. And he's a family guy, and he just loves kids, and he loves people, and he loves collecting toys. And so he said, with his partner, Sebastian, I think we need to do an event that is different, that is all about the vendors and all about the people, and we make it really personal and really fun. And so he did, and the first one was in 2019, and he called me and he said, I don't think it would be a party without you, Mom. So I went, and it was really great. And then we did a second one. We had to hold off for a year because of COVID. We did the second one in 2021, and everybody was masked. And is very cool. This year, FanaticCon Ottawa is going to have 3 celebrities who have not been in the same room together since 1986. And and I think it's going to be incredible. And the 3 celebrities are Robert Boxall, who is known to one and all in Canada for all of the stuff he's done on television and stage and whatnot. He's done Marvel voices, and he's done Sailor Moon voices, and he's just incredible, and handsome and talented, and intimidating as hell to work with. And he and I shared our booth the first FanaticCon. I invited him to share my booth, and then when I got there and I realized it was 6 by 8, we basically spent the day in a clown car together. However, we're still speaking, and we're not sharing a booth this time. He's got his own booth. And the third person coming is John Stalker. John Stalker is Canada's busiest voice actor. He's incredible. And John and Robert and I, we have not been together in the same room since 1986, when we recorded the last episode of The Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin. John played Gimmick, Robert played LB and Prince Aaron, and I played Eleanor Tweeg and Princess Aruzia and Eunice, the doctor, scientist. So the 3 of us are going to cause the utmost damned astonishment, and you won't want to miss it. That's not why I brought it up. I said to myself, I need to come up with something different that everybody's going to say, because it's also it's also my 40th anniversary as a Care Bear, as 3 Care Bears. I did the first Care Bear movie in 1982, and here we are. So it's my 40th anniversary as a Care Bear, and it's also my 40th anniversary as mom on You Can't Live on Television. So of course I have all kinds of mom stuff, and I had mom stuff before, and I have the wonderful signature mom, You Can't Do That slime hat. I have all that stuff. And I have beautiful things for the Care Bears. But I wanted one thing more. I wanted something more. And then I saw it, and I thought, oh gosh, I hope they arrive in time. So they arrived this morning. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. Here we go. Care Bears Monopoly. What a great idea. To become unbearably rich. When you go to jail, do you go to the freeze machine? I can't wait. I think it's going to be awesome. Anyway, that was my surprise thing that I had to start with, because it's just, look at this thing. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you know what else I really love about it? Here's what I love about it. When you turn it around, this is the back. It's showing you what the board looks like. And the board is the original vintage Care Bears. It's us. It's me. And I am Friend Bear, Wish Bear, and Love-A-Lot. I am right there. And they're almost all together. You can see. So Wish Bear is where's Wish Bear? Wish Bear is the shooting star right there. There's Wish Bear. And right beside is Friend Bear with the 2 sunflowers. And at the top with the 2 hearts, is Love-A-Lot Bear. We're all there. You won't want to miss it. They look gorgeous. All right, so that was that. I'm hoping I was only able to get a few. I'm hoping I can find a source for a couple more, because I think they're going to just go like that. Anyway, how incredible is that? All right, so I want to talk about things we think are true. I want to talk today about the assumption we make that when we're taught something, that it's true. We don't go through life thinking they're teaching us lies. I know that in math class, I always thought they were just deliberately teaching me confusion. And then it took me a while, and then I realized it was my confusion, not theirs, that they were teaching me. I was born with it. I brought it to the table. And in this conversation about what we knew to be true, isn't necessarily true. We think it was because it's what we were taught. We get taught things when we're very young and through our early ages, and we begin to assume that it's the right thing. Add 4 and 3 and get 11 instead of 7, and go through life wondering why you can't balance your checkbook. And it becomes something we don't even think about. It's just there. And when we are suddenly brought up short, we're suddenly faced with this fact that, oh my gosh, wait a minute, that's wrong. It upends everything. It upends everything that we thought was true. It upends all the habits that we have followed, doesn't it? When you realize that what you thought was true isn't. We have a choice. We have a choice, and the choice is that we flip the script. We unlearn the mistake and learn the corrected information. And we struggle a bit at first, because we always do in the learning curve. At the beginning we don't know, and we can forget, make mistakes. And then gradually we develop the routine, the habit. It becomes unconscious, and we can now do the new correct thing. The question is, will we? Or will we resist because what we thought was true is comfortable and familiar? Will we change to make our lives easier? Or will we choose to struggle? It's a very interesting question. Because people will normally immediately say, well, of course I'll change, of course. I mean, why would I go on and on believing something that I know is wrong? Why would I do that to myself? And the answer is laziness. The answer is habit. We just fall into it. And the thing I was talking about on Tuesday was the idea that when we wake up in the morning, we look outside, we get our coffee, we look outside, and we see this glorious vision in the sky, and we say, oh my gosh, have you seen the sunrise? And then later that night, we finish dinner, we're having our little glass of something, and we look outside and say, oh, look at that sunset. Thing is, it's not the sun that's moving. The sun isn't coming up in the morning and going down in the evening. The sun is the sun. It's there. It's the earth that is moving. It is the earth that is orbiting and rotating every day around the sun. The correct thing to say when in the morning, when we see the sun, that would mean that the earth is setting. It would be an earth set. And in the evening, when the sun is doing this, or it appears to be doing this, that means the earth is rising. Can you visualize yourself going around saying, oh my gosh, look at that earth set. Oh, I love the earth rise, don't you? It's just so romantic. It sounds crazy. It sounds absolutely ridiculous. However, it's true. It's not important. It's not life or death. However, here's what it is that people don't realize. If the brain knows, if we know that the sun is fixed and it's the earth doing it, then when we say sunrise and sunset, we're setting up a jangle. We're setting up something in our brain that's going on because it knows one thing and we're saying another. And that's called cognitive dissonance. We know things that don't mesh. And the brain doesn't know what to do with it because we keep saying it. Now here's the wonderful thing, the wonderful, wonderful thing about the brain. When we keep doing a thing, we keep saying a thing, it becomes a pattern. It becomes something we automatically do. We don't even have to use words. Have you ever, back in the day when we wore wristwatches, I still wear one because I think it's pretty and I buy a pretty wristwatch. So you wear it every day, and then the day you don't wear it, you look at your wrist 437 times, even though you know you're not, but it's an automatic reflex. It's something that has become an unconscious pattern. What time is it? And then every time we remember, because by the way, no watch, we beat ourselves up. We can't fix it that quickly because fixing a pattern takes time. It takes as long to change a habit and replace that habit with another one as we have had the first one, because it's a pattern. It has become unconscious. This is such a cool thing that I'm going to lead you through today. It's amazing. It is the difference between survival and success. Well, howdy, Garen. Nice to see you. Just going to click and say hello. There we go. And here's oh, Garen just joined us, so I'm going to show Garen. You won't believe what I got for FanaticCon on Sunday, August 14th. You ready? It's a souvenir. It's a collectible for the Care Bears because it's my 40th anniversary as a Care Bear, or 3 Care Bears. Ready? Is that amazing or what? I'm talking today about habits. And I'm talking today about assumptions we make, that when we learn something, when we're taught something, we really never assume that our teacher is deliberately lying to us. We also never assume that our teacher might have got the information wrong. We teach what we know. We can't teach what we don't know. So if the teacher thinks that 4 and 3 are 11, that's what they're going to teach us. When we discover that that was incorrect, because eventually it catches up with us, and we say to the teacher, that's not right. Teacher says, yes, it is. No, it isn't. See? Then the teacher is also having one of those, wow, aha, who knew moments, right? So here's the most amazing thing that is part of all of this. We know that what we knew was true. Or do we? Do we know? Do we accept blindly and believe it, and then have to wrestle with ourselves, struggle with ourselves to relearn, to rethink, to come up with an understanding of the actual truth? Or do we just say, oh well? And here's why I ask the question. It sounds really dark and it's kind of boring, except that it isn't. And here's why. People struggle. They struggle when they're trying to get through, to make it. They struggle against the odds. They struggle to win. They compete. And all of that is a frightening, exhausting uphill challenge. Survival is a very basic exercise. And we learn it very young. We learn it through this cave brain that we have. That the way to survive is to stay safe within our tribe, within our cave, and do what it takes. Our cave brain that is focused on survival, because it's a very primitive brain, is an emotional brain. And it's focused all the time on fight it, or flee, hide, or comply, freeze, or give in. That's all it knows how to do. And when we look at every day as a basic exercise in raw, tough struggle to survive or die, we don't have a lot of fun, because it's scary. Because all of this emotional stuff that the cave brain creates is fear-based. You know, when you're not afraid, you're not inclined to run. You know, you see a tiger for the first time and you say, oh, cool, look. You have no idea until the tiger gets fairly close to you and says, rawr, and you think, check please. We don't know fear until we're taught fear. And so many of us, in fact, Garen and I exchange conversations about this all the time, the sudden realization that we are afraid because something is bigger than we thought is where trauma comes from, and where the brain just sort of goes eek and can't focus, and it can't process anything because the fear is overwhelming. When the body goes into that state, the body goes into shock. You know stories about people who are injured. They're in an accident. The most dangerous thing that the first responders have to be careful of is that the body doesn't go into shock, because when it does, the body starts shutting down. The cave brain says, danger, 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 whatever the name of that show was, and it starts protecting by shutting down freezing and hiding all the vital organs. And because it doesn't know any better, it's trying to keep us alive. Survival is a thing we used to do when we lived in caves. And outside the cave, there were saber-toothed whatnots. And it was always lunchtime for them. And survival is what we did inside the cave by doing what we could to please the strongest member of the tribe. The alpha leader of the tribe, it was their decision whether we stayed or we were tossed out. So everything we did was a competition, a fight to the death in order to survive. That is terrible if we're living it every day. That's a horrible way to get up in the morning and think, oh God, just let me make it through the day. That's horrible. That is where a lot of us end up when we are taught that that's the way it is. When the teacher says it's a jungle, it's a battle, it's a fight to the other death, only the strong survive. Be tough, be strong. The thing is, yes, in many circumstances, yes. However, no. We have evolved. We can do better. We can do better, more, easier than those days, because we do not live in primitive times. We have developed brains that can think strategically. They can't keep up with the cave brain. The emotional cave brain is immediate. That's like, when you go to the doctor and they take out that little hammer and they bonk you on the knee to see your reflex. Okay, if you say to yourself, it's not going to happen, I'm not going to allow it to happen, and he goes bonk, it still happens. The nerve isn't listening. It's doing what the cave brain's telling it. Ah! It's just an automatic response. You can't think your way out of an automatic response. So here's the conversation today. We get to choose to flip the script and achieve success, or stay where we are and fight to survive. The difference between success and survival is success is a habit. There's 2 steps in the formula to success. Just 2. Do one thing every day. That's step 1. Step 2, don't stop no matter what. You want to lose weight? You want to gain weight? You want to be fit? You want to be flabby? You want to get smart? You want to stay dumb? Doesn't matter. To get that goal, do one thing. Do it every day. Don't stop, no matter what. And you know what happens when you do that? It's very sneaky. It's really wonderful. If you do it every day, if you do it every day, you do it every day, and you don't stop, it's more than a habit that you build. It's a pattern. It's a routine. It becomes part of what we do. People like us do things like this. And the cave brain that allows us to survive, that keeps us alive, is all about simple, repetitive actions. The cave brain is the one that drives the car when we're on the highway. We're on the highway for an hour. We don't, for every single second of that drive, pay conscious attention to what we're doing. Our conscious brain wanders off and picks what we're going to have for supper and wonders why we wore these pants. It's the cave brain that is doing the automatic, clutch, brake, gas, turn the wheel, stay on the road. And it can do that because it's repetitive, it's easy, it's simple. excuse me, it knows how to do that. Here's another, and that's why, by the way, that's why we don't remember long stretches of the highway. Because we weren't there. Cave brain was doing it. We were off thinking about dinner. I'll tell you another proof of this amazing phenomenon is that the cave brain is about survival. The cave brain knows things. It doesn't know how we feel about them. It doesn't care why we want them. It only knows things. If we say, as we're leaving work, I have to get milk. I have to remember to stop to get milk. The cave brain, eventually, as we get into traffic and we're going through the same route that we always do, cave brain takes over. And we always end up at home in the driveway without the milk. Why didn't we stop for milk? I always like to say it's because the cave brain doesn't drink milk, doesn't know what it is. When the cave brain came along, we didn't have milk. So it doesn't know what we're wanting to stop for. And it's not listening to this, I want this, I don't want that. Why? Because those are ideas, those are words. And the cave brain existed before words. The cave brain knows things. Cave brain doesn't know what milk is. It doesn't know. So if you say milk all the way home, you get home, you have no milk. Cave brain says, well, thank God it stopped making that noise. And then you have to go out again and get the milk, but this time you take a different route so the cave brain isn't in charge, and then you can get there and you can get the milk. The cave brain is how we survive. How we survive is by being afraid. How we survive is by being anxious and focused and present and alert and suspicious. Ready, because something's coming and it's going to take us alive and we won't let it. That's survival. It's not a fun time. When we say, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to overcome my lazy habits. Cave brain doesn't care. You say one thing, push-ups, push-ups, push-ups. Cave brain understands. We do push-ups. It understands. If you do push-ups every day, or sit-ups, or whatever, you do it every day. The cave brain says this is what we do every day. It's not about survival. It's about maintain. The way it maintains our heart, and it maintains all our organs, our lungs. It maintains how the cells do what they do and the blood does what it does. It maintains us and it keeps us alive. Isn't that interesting? So you have survival, you have maintenance, and then you have habits and patterns. Survival, maintenance, habits, and patterns. That's how we exist. The reason I'm talking about this is when we choose to succeed at something, success is not about competing. Success is us, growing us, evolving us, enriching us. Our success has nothing to do with anyone else. It's ours to own. And how we get there? As I said, the formula is a simple two-step ritual. Do one thing every day. Don't stop, no matter what. The reason we do it every day, the reason we keep going, is because as we evolve, as we grow, as we can do 10 sit-ups, the body gets more fit. We feel more positive. We're kind of walking there. We got this. We add a couple more. We keep doing that. We keep doing that. We add a couple more. Not every day. We maintain. Yes, Riley, that's exactly true. The only person we compete with is us. So here's the thing, and by the way, good morning, Riley. The only you send myself Garen sends himself a text message to his stage mate to get milk. There. Strategic, shrewd, clever man. Clever man. I love that. Okay, here's the thing. I want you to just pause, enjoy, and think about. Success is a moving target. It's not that we can't achieve it. It's that success grows when we grow. When we can do 10 sit-ups, we have achieved that marker. We have achieved that goal. What's the next one? 12 sit-ups. When we set a goal to make $1 million and we make it, do we stop? No. If we can do 1 million, let's do 1,000,005. See what happens. And we keep going. We add that one thing and we repeat it every day without fail. Don't stop. And it works. It absolutely works. I'm going to tell you something that doesn't work. And this is where, when we look around us, one of the reasons that I am so keen on talking about this, I'm talking about positivity, I'm talking about understanding how all this stuff works, is because around us, I keep saying right now, but it has been happening increasingly for a while. And that is that people are feeling more fearful. They're feeling more endangered. They're feeling more threatened. And as a result, they're more anxious. They're more suspicious. And they are more frustrated. And a lot of them are more angry. And when that happens, we get two results. The first result is that we lose our joy and excitement. We lose the magic. We lose that inner child saying, is there going to be a pony? Can I ride it? We lose that. We lose that because we're in a state of trauma. We're in a state of fear. We're in a state of freeze, hide, run, fight. It's devastating. When sad things happen, we're already in that state, and sad things happen. It's devastating. And the reason it's devastating is because we do not have the cushion of compassion and care and happiness. And we use those qualities to look after us. When we're frozen, when our faces are, and we this, and we can't look after anyone. We certainly don't invest in self-care. We certainly don't enjoy our moments. We have the tools. And I can show you how it works. That's why I'm doing this. It's not that I want everyone in the world to be a Pollyanna. It's first of all that I'm really tired of walking into toxic places. I'm going to be doing FanaticCon on August the 14th. I don't want to walk into a room where everyone's got their tie caught in their belt and they're all walking around like this. I want people hugging, and I want people saying, she's back. And I want them to say, oh my God, look at the Care Bears Monopoly game. Look at the Care Bears coloring book. Oh my God, Abby, I have to have the mom hat. It's so much fun to see you. That's what I want. That's me selfishly. That's what I want. How do I get it? Well, I add one thing and I do it every day. And the one thing that I add and do every day is I wake up saying, wow, I'm still here. Thanks, thanks, thanks. I'm still here. Let's do this. I do that one thing every day, and I don't stop, no matter what. Because I refuse to be miserable. I tried miserable. First of all, I looked awful. And what's up with that? Why would we deliberately say, oh, I want to look awful? Where's the shirt that makes me look fat? Yes, we need to buy another one of those. I don't think so. So here's how we need to pay attention. Okay? Here's how we need to pay attention. The people who tell you that survival is a contest, us against them, strongest survives, willing to do at any cost, survives. They're wrong. And I will tell you how I know. If I do anything, if I am willing to win at any cost, and I become the strongest, everyone else loses. Until the next strongest person comes along. My success as the strongest is fleeting. I'm only strong until stronger appears on the horizon. So, a concept in which everyone loses eventually. Everyone loses eventually is possibly the dumbest idea I've ever heard. Hey, where do we sign? I'm only going to win for 10 minutes. I don't think so. Everyone doesn't lose if we stop trying to outdo each other. Every game, every single game invented, I guarantee you, when you think about it, it's not really one team beating the other. It's not really one person beating the other. That's not what's really happening. When a team plays a competitive sport, the team is playing against the playing field. Golf is a sport in which you play against the course. The fewer shots it takes to beat the hazards on the course makes you the winner. The next person who took more shots did not beat the course as efficiently and as effectively as you did. So you did better than they did. You get the trophy and the money and the jacket, but you weren't competing against each other. When I win, it's not because you lose. I win because I beat the course. If the object of the exercise is to get a ball down a field or to hit a ball and run around a field, what we're talking about is skill. Who has better timing today? Who is bringing their A+ game today? We're not competing against each other. I don't win when you lose. I win when I do my best, and my best is the best that day. I create success when I do better than I did before. As Riley says, the person we compete with is us. It's our personal best we're going for. Now, when that happens, and it happens as a result of showing up every day, doing that one thing every day, and don't stop, no matter what, and we achieve success. It's always very small. It's incremental. We don't notice it until we look back and we think, oh my God. You know, there's an exercise that was invented by a demon from another galaxy. It's called the plank. And what you do, I can't imagine how anybody thought of it, really, because you don't actually do it in the real life, I don't think, is you lie on the floor, and then you raise yourself up on your elbows and your toes, and your body is like a plank, and your body's like this, and you stay there until you're vibrating so much that you collapse. Because it's not that you're heavy, it's that your arms, your forearms aren't used to doing that, and your toes aren't used to doing that. What happens though? So the first time you do it, boy, the first time I did the plank, I did the plank for, 5 seconds. And when I collapsed, I lay on the floor with my mouth on the carpet, muttering things that no civilized human being should say. However, I did it every day. I did it every day. And eventually, I was doing 1.5 minutes. And then I saw a interview with some fitness person who can do the plank for an hour. And I thought, I see. Well, okay. Back to the drawing board. Success is exciting. When you do a habit that tones you and trains you and gives you the tools you need to reach your goal and keep reaching it, because success and those goals keep moving, you are thrilled with yourself because you have created a pattern of discipline. You have created a pattern that gives you control over things you didn't control before. And it feels amazing. Success feels amazing. Every time I go in the kitchen and randomly make something that looks and actually tastes edible, I feel like $1 million, because it's not decision. I have to pay very close attention. And again, after a while, the cave brain says, I got this, I can take over, except the cave brain can't cook. We didn't have fire when the cave brain came along. No doesn't know what cook is. So it just kind of stands there and does other stuff, and then I burn things. And then somebody says, oh, what's for dinner? And I say reservations. So I have to pay really close attention in order for it to work. I can't allow the cave brain to take over. It has to be. So I always do something that isn't a routine, that's a different pattern. So the cave brain says, I don't know. You got this, I don't got this. So that's a really important distinction, and it is a distinction that we get to choose to be aware of and to consciously make. So before I move forward and I talk about this crazy fabulous book, I want to pay attention, and I how do you know when you're in survival mode? How do you know when you have accidentally slipped into a kind of a toxic mindset? Because it's easy to do. Oh my goodness, it's easy to do. How do you know? You can do a quick diagnostic. Do you feel anxious? Are your shoulders tight? Is your jaw clenched? Are you breathing in a shallow way? Is your mouth turned down? Are you short-tempered? You're in basic survival mode. Whatever it is that you have been doing, you've been triggered. You've been triggered and you didn't know, because the cave brain just takes over. The cave brain is the knee-jerk response. The cave brain, this is important, the cave brain doesn't know future or past. It doesn't know that the movie you're watching or the video you're watching or the TikTok you're watching or the post you're reading, the cave brain does not know that those things are not instructions. It doesn't know. When the cave brain was formed, there was no video. There was no writing. The cave brain only knows what it's shown. If you show screaming, if you show running, if you show yelling, if you show angry, scared, suspicious, the cave brain thinks it's real and it's now. That's why people scream on roller coasters. The cave brain thinks we're in imminent danger. The cave brain thinks we're dying. It thinks we're free falling off a cliff. It doesn't know that it's a machine that you paid money to go on. We are triggering the cave brain to have those fight, flight, anxious, freeze, hide, comply reactions. We're triggering the cave brain. We're triggering the cave brain to think it's a crisis. Do it often enough, and the cave brain thinks it's a permanent crisis. Can you imagine? No wonder people are traumatized. No wonder they're spitting. No wonder they're yelling. No wonder they're firing guns and killing people they don't even know. They think we're all going to die. Well, if I'm going to die, I'm taking you with me. That is where we are. We can fix that. How we fix that? We don't put on the Pollyanna hat. We don't order liver and lima beans. Here's what we do. We focus on success. We don't focus on survival. We focus on success. Success is a habit. Survival is a drive. Success is a pattern. Survival is determination. As long as we create a habit that takes us to a better place, the feeling we get when we reach it keeps us up, keeps us energized, keeps us feeling great about us. And I know that you know this. We all know it. We just have to think about it. When we feel great, when we feel like we've achieved a goal, we're confident. If we can do this, we can do that. I may not be able to get into the skinny jeans this Friday, but if I can do this, eventually, those jeans are mine. How do we do it? One thing every day. Don't stop. That is it. How do we figure out the one thing? That depends on the success goal you want to achieve. And then you write it down and you repeat it every day until it becomes part of the routine. And the cave brain says, I guess we do this now. And that way we fool the cave brain. We sneak up on it. And we become stronger and more confident and more fit and more able to survive our challenges because we're fighting well. We're living well. We feel good about our options. We're not living to fight the other guy. We're not living to do better than him. We're living to raise our own bar, to raise our own standard, to get gooder at it. And that's fun. That's exciting. Truthfully, when you think about it as a child, we weren't competing. That was something we were taught. And we believed it because why would the teacher lie? Now we're at a place where we have to unlearn it. The question I've asked is, do we ask what if because we can? Or do we wish we had and spend our days asking, if only? We can do it, or we can wish we did. It's all us. It's all us. So, first of all, I want to talk about this amazing book. You and Your Big Ideas is a book that I piloted. I was the author whisperer to the amazing, fabulous author, Brian Freed. Brian Freed is an inventor. And Brian contacted me through that writer's agency that I was working with. And he said, I want to write a book for inventors. I want to give them the success habit. Because inventing is a solitary, lonely pursuit. And it's so much easier to follow that path, to pursue that goal, when you know that there's a process, when you know that there are steps. So I want you to help me identify the steps, talk about them, describe them, and then give people permission to learn that habit and own it. So here's what happened. I just love the title, You and Your Big Ideas. So Brian said, I said, well, what do you want to do with the book? You know, you're an inventor, you're busy. What do you want to do with this book? He said, I want to speak to inventor groups. I want to introduce to inventor groups the kinds of professionals who are there to help them. People at the patent office, people who do marketing, places that will do prototypes for you, lawyers and accountants, people who will set you up in a system that works for you. so that it's not just you alone in the basement with the rest of the family upstairs yelling, "You'll never amount to anything." If you have a process, if you have a system, if you say, "I have a business, my business is that I invent things," people will feel more confident. They will feel that it's real. You know, the crazy thing about being an inventor is that inventors see things that don't exist yet. And then they figure out how to create them so that everybody else can see them and say, "Ooh, does that come in blue?" Actors are inventors. You know, when we did the Care Bears, they came up with the idea of these little bears that weren't just huggable things that little kids would like. They were touchstones. They were actual personalities that cared about you. They weren't passive. You cared about the bear. The bear cares about you. So the kids didn't feel alone. The kids felt heard and seen and valued. It's a great idea. And when they came to the actors and said, "Okay, so here are the bears. These are their personalities. You need to come up with the voice and the attitude and the personality in action that will make the bears come alive." Wow. What an opportunity. So we got to talk to them, talk to the creators, talk about the ideas, and then try different voices to see if they worked. You watch any backstage documentary on the making of any animation, and you can see the same process. You watch any of these promotional tours that actors do to promote the launch of a new movie. They're always asking how they came up with the character, and what was the reasoning behind this and that conflict and that that one-upmanship. And the actors will tell you that when they were working on the characters, they were coming up with ideas and suggesting it to the writers and the director about, what if I do this? That'll give us an opportunity to do that. And what this creates is life. It creates conversation. It creates connection. It creates a tribe. It creates community. It creates something dynamic. It gives people a reason to watch the movie rather than just stare at the poster. Get the poster of Superman. You know what Superman looks like. Get a poster of Iron Man or Tony Stark. Why do you need to see the movie? Because you want to see what happens. You want to see what they're like now. You want to see how they connect with the other characters. Deadpool, you want to see what incredibly crazy, lame, fool thing he's going to do, because he's a nut job and we love him. Everything that I post in my pictures of events that I go to, the pictures are alive, they're dynamic, there's interaction, there's laughter. That doesn't happen by itself. That isn't a thing I walked into like fog or rain. I go in there generating it. I'm in there winding people up. Every time I go to a show, I say, the hijacker has arrived. Whatever mood you're in, ain't gonna happen. And I hijack the mood. Why? Because I'm there to have the best time ever. I'm there to feel like, "Oh, it's a pony. Can I ride it?" That's why I'm there. I want my life to be the next step in success. And I have spent my entire life trying to figure out how to manipulate the tools that I have to make that happen. That's why I'm working on this Pivotry in Motion project. Everyone wants that. Everyone wants to feel great. They just don't know how to get there because no one has shown them where the tools are. I know where the tools are. I can show you where they are. And then I can show you which end to hold. After that, it's up to you. I'm not carrying you across the finish line. That's you. I am not doing your plank for you. I don't care how you beg and plead. Not going to happen. All right. I'm going to give you an example because I always like to end on a happy, silly note. This actually happened. And then because it happened, I decided to put it in a show because I wanted to see if it had happened to anybody else. Because I don't know. I'm an only child, and I'm raised by crazy people who disappear randomly. And we move all the time. And I don't have any context. I don't know why things are happening and why they're not happening. And every new day is a new day going, what? Where? Why? How? That's my entire childhood. And every so often when I got it right, I'd say, alrighty then. Because I had no idea. I had no idea. And there are still times now when, I'm in the grocery store and I look at food and I think, how, I can't even, and then, but what would you, I walk away. So I think, somebody says, no, it's really good. Somebody said, this is really good. It's called quinoa. And and I said, oh, really? What is it like? They said, well, have you ever had grits? And I'm thinking, yes. Did you like grits? No. You didn't like grits? No. Why not? Because to me, my palate, grits tastes like wallpaper paste without the nuance. It's like socks. It's like the Kleenex you left in the socks. So tell me about quinoa. It's really good for you. Okay. Can I hide it in something? Can I smear it on my back or something? So there are times when somebody tries to show me success, but the steps to it are too revolting in my frame of reference for me to do it. So I am always willing to learn. I am always willing to understand that I got it wrong. I'm always willing to say, yeah, they might have not known what they were saying. Yeah, my parents could very well have gotten it wrong. And there I was doing it for the rest of my life. So here's the thing. This sounds like a joke, and I made it a joke in a show. But it wasn't a joke. I seriously believed that there would be money in my bank account if I still had checks. When I was a kid, imagine my surprise. When I was a kid, my dad took me to a bank. He got me this little part-time job, this adorable part-time job, so that I wouldn't hang out in restaurants and eat French fries and drink Cokes until I weighed 300 pounds and got in trouble with the law. He got me this job working as the gopher at a tennis club. I ran errands for people, and I got to hang out with all these fabulously beautiful, tanned, fit tennis players. Oh, darn. And then they paid me money. So anyway, I got my first paycheck. My dad said, let's go to the bank. Okay. We go to the bank. And it was for $60. By the way, I was 12 years old. $60, my first check for my first week's work at the age of 12. $60. Go to the bank. My dad said, we're going to open a bank account. You're going to put the money in. Okay. Can I keep some? Yes, you can. How much do you want to keep? I said, can I have $5? Yes, you can. So the teller said, are we going to take out any money? Yes, we are. My dad says, we'll have $10. And I said, oh, no, Daddy, I only want 5. And he said, you're only going to get 5. I said, okay. So the teller hands us 2 $5 bills. So I take the 2 $5 bills. And my dad says, now give me 5. And I said, why? He said, housekeeping. I said, what? He said, your mother and I pay money to have a beautiful house and beautiful furniture and beautiful clothes and delicious food and heat in the winter and air conditioning in the summer. That costs money. That's called housekeeping. We both pay. Now that you are earning money, you will also pay. That'll be $5. And he wasn't kidding. I was 12 years old and I was paying $5 a week housekeeping. And he said, there's two reasons we're doing that. One is because that's what everyone does. And the second is you need to understand that you will not have all the money you're paid because there will be other expenses, and some of them are taken off the top. And you will learn to understand that you have to budget your money. And I said, how do I take the money out? And he said, you get checks. You write down the amount and you hand in the check and they give you the money. And I said, okay. In a million years, it never occurred to him to tell me that the checks didn't control how much money I had. They controlled how much money I took out. He never mentioned that. So I never knew it until that first horrible time when the bank called and I had to go in and see them. No, that's not right. No, the checks are, no, that's not how it works. The bank guy, yes it is. Yes it is. Yes it is. So I was, 16, 15, when I discovered that the thing I believed to be true was not true. When I understood that, I also understood that I had a choice. We always have a choice. And the choice was, what if knowing that becomes my habit? What if I take control of that and I manage my money well? Or, if only I'd managed my money well. If only I'd learned. If only I'd tried. That's the choice we have. And that's the video today. Today was video 64. The question is, will you still need me? Will you still come and see me every Tuesday and Thursday? I hope so. I hope we'll keep doing this, that you'll still be here, because I will still be here. Because I still need you. You're amazing. And I am grateful that you take the time and you comment, and I can tell that you're smiling by the things that you say and the messages that I get privately, and that makes me very happy because we're in this together. So this weekend coming is a time when we get to gear up. We get to gear up and start thinking, I hate to say this, about the fall. Because in 3 weeks, it's August. So this weekend is one of those weekends where we say, we get to play. The question is, do we play wisely and well? Or throw caution to the wind? That's our choice. That's up to us. I was going to show you something today about the cover of the Pivotry book, but I have a couple little things that I'm working on, so I want to delay and I want to, do it when it's perfect. So, this crazy book, if you're an inventor or you know one, You and Your Big Ideas by Brian Freed is on Amazon, and he will be very pleased that that you decided to check it out and use it. It's a good book. It's not a good book because I was part of it. It's a good book because Brian is very wise. And it's enjoyable to read because I was part of it. How about that? And the other thing is, remember to channel your inner child. Reach for the joy, reach for the fun, reach for the excitement. It's going to give you what you need, the power, the strength, the energy, the confidence to face the real tough times when the real crisis comes along. Okay? Please tell your friends if you're enjoying this. Please tell them how much fun we have. Like and share. Talk about the YouTube channel. And be good to you. Be good to you. Focus on success. You deserve it. And don't forget to hug your loved ones. What they go through with you. I'll see you next time. Thank you.